Hello everybody, ProtoFoxy here, coming back at you with another video. We're heading back into doing Magic the Gathering deck techs here, and we're heading back into the Pauper format. You can see under here, a little bit there, we got the sweet Pauper Guild playmat there. You can get your sweet Pauper Guild swag in the comments section down below, and in the description. There will be a link for your sweet Pauper Guild swag. Today we are gonna take a look at Jeskai Ephemerate in Pauper. So let's quit yakking about everything and get into the card selection. Come over here to the creatures. We got 3 Stonehorn Dignitary, 3 generic and 1 white for a 1/4 Rhino Soldier. That reads, when Stonehorn Dignitary enters the battlefield, target opponent skips his or her next combat phase. Pretty maligned card in Pauper right now because having your opponent skip their combat phase in Pauper is very similar to time walking them, and in control shells it's good for you, not good for them, and it just makes for a miserable experience for your opponent apparently. In paper it doesn't seem so bad, more in MTGO. It seems like it definitely seems a bit more oppressive, but he's here for that because Jeskai Ephemerate is a control deck, and that's what it's there for. We come over here to 3 Mole Drifters, 4 generic and a blue for a 2/2 flying elemental. When Mole Drifter comes into play, draw 2 cards. Its evoke cost is 2 generic and a blue. All around all-star and Pauper. Not much needs to be said. It definitely appears in quite a few decks that run blue when you're playing control, and he's definitely good for what he does. Come over here to 3 Mnemonic Walls, 4 generic and a blue for a 0/4 wall with Defender. When Mnemonic Wall enters the battlefield, you may return target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand. And again, with this deck's namesake, Jeskai Ephemerate, you're going to be flickering Mnemonic Walls, Mole Drifters, and Stonehorn Dignitaries to just create so much value for you on your side of things. And that's what it's there for. We come over here to 4 Seagate Oracles, 2 generic and a blue for a 1/3 human wizard. When Seagate Oracle enters the battlefield, look at the top 2 cards of your library. Put one of them into your hand and the other into the bottom of your library. Again, just creating a good card selection for you. Again, these creatures are a bit smaller, but they do the job because of their enter the battlefield triggers and all of that. And again, when you're flickering them, it just creates added value for you. That's it for the creature package. We are going to come over to the artifacts of the deck. We've got a single Feldon's Cane, 1 generic, that reads, reshuffle your graveyard into your library. Remove Feldon's Cane from the game. Removing it from the game is just the old way of saying exile. This is really good when you're trying to get back the stuff you need along with Mnemonic Wall. This actually does it wholesale from your graveyard back in your library as opposed to selecting it with Mnemonic Wall. But definitely a nice out to have when people are playing Graveyard Hate. Come over here. 2 Bonder's Ornament, 3 generic for an artifact that reads, add 1 mana of any color. 4 generic and tap it. Anyone who controls Bonder's Ornament draws a card. You play Pauper, you know this card doesn't really need much of an introduction here, so you know why it's here, you know what it's going to do, and that's why we got 2 in the deck. Come over to the spell package. First, we have a downshift from Commander's Legends. You can see I still got the actual Ixalan version here, which was an uncommon, but it was downshifted to common in Commander's Legends. Fiery Cannonade, 2 generic and a red for an instant that reads, Fiery Cannonade deals 2 damage to each non-pirate creature. This is probably now the most efficient red board wipe in Pauper. That's all you got to say about it. Because a lot of aggressive decks are running really small creatures, and this takes care of that. Not as format warping as people initially thought. It's good, but definitely did not blank out your aggro decks. There's still ways to go against it, but it's here for that. Come over to Abrade. Single generic and a red for an instant that reads, choose one. Abrade deals 3 damage to target creature or destroy target artifact. Each of these modes on their own for the mana cost is definitely not really all that efficient. Basically, you're getting either a lightning strike or I believe it's smash the smithereens would be the equivalent. But on a single card for that, to have the choice is definitely really good, and that's why it's here. It's definitely good for dealing with artifacts and all of that. Come over to a single Light of Hope. 1 white for an instant that reads, choose one. You gain 4 life, destroy target enchantment, or put a +1/+1 on a target creature. Just another decent modal spell here in Pauper. We come over to the namesake of the deck, Ephemerate. Single white for an instant that reads, exile target creature you control, then return it to the battlefield under its owner's control. We know why it's here. We know what it does. And it is pretty maligned in the format right now. Some people are calling for it to be banned. Because it does what it does well and does it efficiently. Come over here. 2 single dispel. Single blue for an instant that reads, counter target instant spell. Doesn't get any more basic than that. Come over this way to 2 brainstorms. Single blue for an instant that reads, draw 3 cards and put 2 cards from your hand on top of your library in any order. Just great card draw, great card selection. Just a really good all-around card in blue. We come to 3 Fall from Favor. New common from Commander Legends. And this card is another card that is incredibly maligned right now. 2 generic and a blue for an enchantment aura that reads, enchant creature. When Fall from Favor enters the battlefield, tap enchanted creature and you become the monarch. Enchanted creature does not untap during its controller's untap step unless that player is the monarch. The reason why this is maligned is because it is a removal spell that gives you the monarch. For anyone who doesn't know, the monarch ability in Magic the Gathering is once you are the monarch, you have the ability to draw a card on your end step. It just creates card advantage. Again, much like Ephemerate, much like other cards in the format that you hear a lot of cries for bannings for. This is this is for some people a very oppressive card and they want to see it banned. I personally don't think it's all that rough to deal with. Yes, I mean, basically it's, turned a lot of games into who gets Monarch and who can keep Monarch and trading up for Monarch and all that. But, it's a good spell. It's not the be-all, end-all, end of the game kind of stuff, in my opinion anyway. But it's here because this is a control deck. This controls stuff, and that's what you want to do. Come over here, 2 4 counter spells. This card needs no introduction or description. You know what it does, and you know why it's here. And if you're playing blue, you need to be playing this card. That's all you need to know. Come over here. 2 4 Preordain. Single blue for a sorcery that reads scry 2, then draw a card. Just great card selection and card draw. Come over to the mana base. We've got 2 Radiant Fountains. When Radiant Fountain enters the battlefield, you gain 2 life. Add a single generic to your mana pool. Got 4 Thriving Isles. Thriving Isle, enters the battlefield tapped. As Thriving Isle enters the battlefield, choose a color other than blue. Add blue or 1 mana of the chosen color. These are just great mana fixing here in Pauper. I'm a big proponent of using any of the Thriving lands. I just think they're really great. Come over here. 2 3 Azorius Chancery, enters the battlefield tapped. When Azorius Chancery enters the battlefield, return a land you control to its owner's hand. Add white blue. Just again, great mana fixing. Taps for 2 mana, which is really nice. So the bouncing effect is mitigated. But, just, again, great mana fixing. We got 3 Evolving Wilds, for a land that you tap, then sacrifice, and you search your library for a basic land card, put it on the battlefield, tap, then shuffle your library. This is Pauper's fetch land, and again, just a way to fix your mana. We've got a single mountain, and that's the alternate art from M21. I love that artwork, by the way. We've got a single plains. Single plains. Let's keep that lined up there. And we've got 8 islands. Come up here, get a view of the deck. This is Jeskai Ephemerate and Pauper. It is a it's a control deck, much like Flickertron in Pauper. This deck just seeks to lock your opponent out of doing things that they're supposed to do when they're playing Magic, and keeps you ahead and eventually grinds out your wins. It's a it's a fun control deck to play if you're into the control archetype. I happen to enjoy it very much so. And to me, this deck is actually very, very similar to Flickertron, and it does a lot of similar things where it keeps your card advantage, keeps your opponent at bay with locking them out of doing things that they want to do and creating loops with card draw and, all of that. But with that said, I leave you with this. If you liked the video, please leave it a like. If you did, maybe shoot a subscribe my way. That would be greatly appreciated. Wash your hands, wear your masks, stay healthy, be safe, be kind to your fellow human being, and we will see you in the next video.